Assalamu alaikum, I'm Hiba.
And I'm Zaid,
You're listening to Diary of a Matchmaker.
a podcast that will take you into our world as matchmakers.
We'll share our experiences and offer advice for the single Muslim.
So let's dive in.
Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome to another episode. My name is Hiba and on the other mic is my laughing husband, Zaid. We've been trying to record this episode 7 times now. For some reason we end up laughing, but good laugh never hurts. We've shared our story multiple times by now. I think you guys are sick of our story. But the part that we usually don't elaborate on is the period where we ended up being apart for 14 months. Yeah. No, we didn't have a fight. Our mothers didn't have a fight. None of that. But
we had
COVID.
our nikah.
We had our nikah. You tell it.
Yeah, so we had our nikah, and within a few days, we had to part ways. Hiba came back to Jordan to finish her education. I returned to Canada, and we planned a nice wedding in Palestine, but unfortunately COVID happened a few months later, and as a result we had to live apart for 14 months. So this episode is dedicated to the things we learned during that time apart, how we survived, how we made things work, and hopefully through our story and through some of the things that we're going to share, you guys will benefit and maybe even change your mind about, considering a long-distance relationship. The reason we're doing this episode is because we see through our service many times people create and put restrictions upon themselves. And one of those restrictions is long distance. Mm-hmm. That they prefer to meet somebody that's close by in the same city or within the same province. And I can see why. Because, of course, you want to see the person face to face, how they are, what their manners are like, and things of that nature. And so there is some value in that. But at the same time, we have to recognize that we're a minority in this country, both in Canada and the U.S. And the more we keep our options open, the easier the path to marriage, inshallah, will be. So the thing to point out is that when you look at America or Canada as a whole, the culture isn't that much different when you go from the east to the west, mm-hmm. right? And so you can find somebody that has the same values, that has the same way of thinking, and all of those things, while living in the same country.
Exactly. Like we're not saying marry someone from back home or from the other side of the world, even though there is nothing wrong with that. We did that. But at least open your options to somebody from a different province or a different state or not exactly in your city.
Right. So let's focus on us two. Now, on paper, I've said this in workshops before, on paper, our marriage shouldn't have worked, right? Mm. You spoke Arabic as a first language. I spoke English. And then the list goes on, right? You're from the Middle East, I'm from the West, et cetera, et cetera. And yet we didn't let those things, more importantly, we didn't let geographical location be a hindrance for us, right? Because we saw that our values matched. Not just our values, our goals, our expectations, the important things matched. And we thought, and we realized that, okay, there is the problem with geographical location, but alhamdulillah, Allah made it work.
Because geographical location, the way I see it, is just a circumstance. It's a passing circumstance. It's not going to be there forever, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it's not a value.
Exactly. And you can't have every checkbox on your list.
Mm. But why do people want to restrict themselves to same geographical location, you think?
I think it's fear. I think it's I can somewhat get it on the girl side because they have to give up a lot, moving in with a complete stranger, probably moving away from family. Like with you, for example, you don't know anybody here, right? So you are moving away from all your cousins and your parents and your sister. And so there was a huge compromise on your end. So there's a lot of fear associated with that.
But a lot of times it's the guy who's not open. Even though the girl is going to move in with him, the guy is not open to a long distance relationship, even though it's going to be only temporarily, right? Like we've seen it with multiple clients. I think it's like there is a risk factor. And for some reason, people think the further the person is from me, the more the risk there is.
Yeah, I think you're
Like
right.
if I'm marrying somebody who lives in Mississauga and I live in Toronto, there's not a huge risk. But if she's living in,
BC.
I don't know, BC, Edmonton, then there's a
Yeah.
bigger risk. And it doesn't make any sense, honestly.
It's not just risk. I think people are just so used to comfort and convenience now. I think it's the convenience factor. Like, oh my God, I have to fly to BC to meet this girl. Or the girl in BC would like, oh my God, I have to fly to Mississauga. Such an expensive flight. How am I going to make this work? Like, come on, guys. We got WhatsApp video. We got Skype. We got got every technological means in the book.
I think it's not the flying part. Like people are willing to do that. People love to travel. But the fact that they have to get to know each other is through technology and not face to face.
Right.
Yeah. But like you said, we're so accustomed to convenience and comfort. We have Uber just a click away. We order food, DoorDash. We like everything. You don't even have to go to the cinema. You have Netflix.
Yeah. Like, guys, we talked. So we first started talking around the first week of November. And we literally, like...
Actually... It was November 11th, so it was the second week.
Okay, second week of November, sorry. And our communication, our courting phase was primarily through Skype.
Yeah.
And we literally met face to face for the first time on a Tuesday in December. We had our nikah Saturday in my uncle's basement.
Yeah.
So when you look at how we made it. Now, I'm not saying we're the golden example of how a marriage should work.
Not at all. Not at
but
all.
If we can make it work, you guys can make it work.
And it's not like we're not an exception. I know many people who actually got married through long distance relationship. For starters, your brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My brother got married to a girl in Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think he met her once with my mom present. Prior to marrying her, and that was it. And then they got married in Pakistan. Immigration took forever. It took over a year. They lived apart. He did go meet her once. So I mean, the point is that most of their relationship was long distance.
My cousin as well. He got married over long distance relationship. Who else? I have a friend as well. She was in Saudi. He was in the States. Yeah. So it's not an exception. Many people make it work, but is it for everyone? Well, if you have trust issues, then maybe this is not for you. But on the other hand, if you have trust issues, then maybe you shouldn't be in a relationship altogether. Right.
Our goal here through this episode and through our story is to just make the path to marriage easy for you guys. Mm-hmm. So the less restrictions you have, the more flexible you are, the easier the path will be, inshallah.
Inshallah. So there are actually practical things you can do. Let's say you find yourself in a long distance relationship. There are ways to make it work and not let it be boring. Mm-hmm. And the first thing is lay down some ground rules. So for example, if you're just starting to get to know each other, you didn't have your nikah yet, then a good ground rule would be to set a time where you don't talk past. She's like, you're still strangers, so maybe you shouldn't talk past midnight, right?
I would say before that, maybe 9 or 10 p.m.
So something that you both are comfortable with. Yeah. Of course, you gotta keep the conversations appropriate, in line with Islam. That's very important.
Number 2, dedicate time for each other.
That's a no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer. I mean, the only reason we survived for 14 months was because we talked every day.
Yeah.
And whether it was just a simple check-in, I mean, we'll talk about some activities and stuff that we did. But yeah, you got to make time for each other. I mean, it's... don't think that... Oh yeah, and we talked about this before. Don't think that since you had your nikah and you're locked in, that's it. I got nothing to worry about. She's my wife, he's my husband, and everything's taken care of. Yeah. No, this is where it's first. This is where you need to keep adding fuel to the fire, right?
Exactly.
Keep that desire burning for each other.
Exactly. Yeah. But at the same time, some people think that because we're not like in each other's presence, then we have to make up for that with even more time on the phone. And that's not good. So if you don't have something to say, just don't talk. Don't talk for just the sake of spending time. Because if you have nothing to say, you're going to say the wrong thing, or you're just going to end up being bored of each other. So dedicate some time for yourself as well. Take care of yourself. Your life now doesn't just revolve around this long distance relationship. It's a part of your life, but it's not your entire life. So go to the gym, go out with your friends, whether you're a guy or a girl. Dedicate time to your family, to your health, to your deen. And inshallah, when the circumstances are better, you're going to be able to reunite soon, inshallah. Next
3.
one. Yeah, plan creative dates. Talking is nice, texting is nice, but you can make it, spice it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You can cook together, like
share recipes.
Share recipes. You can watch a movie together, watch a show together.
I remember while we were apart, I was reciting Quran to you.
Yeah, me too as well. We were testing each other's hifz. You can watch duroos together, lectures. There are a million and one things to do together.
Yeah, we were watching a lot of Bayina videos.
Videos. You can, if you are in video games, you can do that together. You can use this time actually to, instead of just talking about how was your day and all of that, you can get to know each other. You can ask each other the important questions. Like, this is the time for you to assess compatibility, right?
Yeah, we have a great book, an ebook with like 7 activities that you can use to assess.
They can be played in person or in a virtual setting. Yeah, and it's available on our website, the Compatibility Challenge.
Lean on your support system.
Yeah. Exactly.
Your brothers, sisters, your immediate family.
Yeah, there are going to be some lonely times, some dark times when you feel like this is just too hard to handle. So in those times, lean on your support system. Just talk to your friend, to your best friend, to your family. Just express how you feel. Just talking about it will make you feel better.
Yeah.
And the last one is work on some projects together. Maybe decorating your future home, buying some furniture online, planning a honeymoon. Like when we were talking, we actually spent quite a lot of time discussing our business ideas.
And we spent a lot of time on Kijiji and Facebook Marketplace buying stuff for the apartment.
Exactly, yeah.
But that was fun. Like, we saved a bunch of money. I remember you would send me an ad for like a dinner table that would work for the apartment. I'd be going out to buy that or buying like spice jars and stuff like that.
Like 90% of our furniture and like everything we own is secondhand. Yeah, we enjoy it. Yeah. But find projects to do together. It's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna bring you closer to each other as well. Yeah. And make dua.
Make lots of dua.
Make lots of dua. In most cases, you will have a date in mind where you will, like, where you're planning to meet and to get together. In our case, it wasn't like this. We had multiple dates in mind. We had a wedding date in mind. We booked the venue, but because of COVID, every time it got pushed. The wedding got canceled twice.
And we pushed it from July to August, and then August it got canceled. Yeah.
Exactly. And subhanAllah, by the time we met, it was like just 2 days before that, I got like authorization to fly because they were only giving a small number of authorizations for people to fly from that airport. Yeah, so in most cases, it's going to be easier. If you think you can make it work, then keep your options open. Keep an open mind. And you never know. Maybe your soulmate lives a province away.
Yeah. All right. Inshallah. We hope that after listening to this episode, you guys keep an open mind. You don't let the geographical location be a hindrance. Remember, the most important thing are values, goals, expectations, and you know, things like geographical location is a compromise that, you know, you guys can figure out. the same way we figured it out.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So, yeah, keep an open mind, and until next time.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.